show first image is this one, and I have a caption to read. Caption is, commissioned work, shot of a scene from the slow haunt. This was a live performance, not a photography call. State Theatre, July 2021. Okay, we have a score. This image scores 7, Silver Award. And a comment, please. Who's the dancer in you lot? Oh, Tony.
Given that the lighting's provided for you, the posing's given to you, I mean, it's hard to give this much more than it's got. I think it's done well. The challenge is to pick those right moments. The foot in the front is a little distracting because it's picking up the light, the hand just above that. So it's just getting those moments correct. The person on the left is more strongly lit than anybody else. But the overall feel of the image and the colour palette, which again is given to you to a degree, has worked really well. Just watch the saturation of the blues underneath the bodies. It's just starting to push out again a little bit.
Great. Thank you, Tony. Okay, next image. This image scores 6, Bronze Award. And the comment for this applicant, please. Erica, were you moving then? No? Somebody? Thank you, Tony.
Great composition, beautiful graphics. I love the way that's been put together. Technically, it falls down a little bit with some of the transition from black to white as we move into the back of the image. As some of the black and whites are just sort of merging without getting that finite detail that I think this image is demanding. And towards the top, the whites, there's something going on within the transition of the white to the grey shadows. But overall, it's got a lot of impact. I just think it needs to be a little bit more tightened up as a commercial shot. Excellent.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that. Next image is... This image scores 7, a Silver Award. Okay. Lisa, can you help out with anything to be done to take it to the next level?
I'm not sure what we could do to take this to the next level. Perhaps this is one where a caption explaining exactly what we're seeing might help, because it is a beautiful graphic image. It feels lovely and soft from what is not a subject. Well done.
Cool. And the next image is caption. The caption for this one is commissioned work, shot of a scene from Tosca. This was a live performance, not a photography call. His Majesty's Theatre, July 2022. It scores 6, Bronze Award. Comment, please. You have to speak up, I can't see you.
Yeah, lovely image, well captured. Obviously, as we've discussed earlier with these sorts of theatre performances, everything, the lighting's given to you, but the timing of the image was done really beautifully, and it's quite interesting. The shadows are really cool, and great treatment of black and white.
Thank you, David. Next image. All good? So this image scores a 5. Competent work. Who hasn't chatted for a while? Jazz, Erica? Anything can be done?
Yeah, beautiful time of day to take this image. I really enjoyed the colour. I like that the guy's frozen. I just wanted to see a little bit more of what's happening in the background as well, because that seems important. Maybe a little bit more space around him as well, maybe a square crop.
Sounds good. Thank you. Next image.
Oh, we've already had that one.
Thank you. Good work, judges. Keeping true to your cause. Yeah. And I think so. This image scores a 6. Bronze Award. David, challenge. We're up for a review for this. Thank you, David. You have given this an 8. Thank you, David. Okay, here we're going. So David's speaking for. Who's speaking for medium or small? Yep. So, Jazz, thank you.
I'll speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really enjoying this as well for the colour palette and the obvious able to pose model, and I feel like I'm not articulating it very well, so I'm sorry.
That's
but
fine.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely deserves more than what did it get?
A 6.
Oh yeah, absolutely deserves to be at an award level for sure.
Sure. Tony. That's great.
Neither image for me stands up on its own technically. The one on the left, the edging around the dress is disturbing. There's editing issues all the way around with the sort of shadowing effect, whether that's part of the background being worked or whatever's happened there. The middle of the dress is a little bit sort of flat light. It could have been it's a little bit overlit. The arm is a bit bright on the model, but if you go to the flowers on the right, they're lit wrong for me. The top flower is way overlit. It's kind of hot spot underneath, and the same with the bottom flower down at the bottom of the frame. That's overlit. The shallow depth of field, I'm not sure it actually works for this because the dress, we've got detail through the dress, and then you've got the flowers. I think they're carnations, aren't they, girls? Is that no? What are they? Geraniums? Whatever they are, pink flowers. Yeah, but they're not working. And the overall concept of the detail being flowers in the left, I really get. I really enjoy. But just technically, from a commercial point of view, I just think this falls over in so many ways. With apology to the photographer because the idea is great. But just get your lighting right and get your editing right because that's what's going to be counting when it comes to commercial work.
Cool. Thank you. Now, anyone else before David has right reply? No? All good? David, thank you.
Having a second look at the fringing on the dress does pop me a little bit. But it's just a really lovely use of colour, and I like the way the gradient fades in and out, and so the juxtaposition of the colours and everything. It's just a image to look at, and I think it makes a really nice commercial.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so you're going to David holds his score. We're rescoring, please. Image was sitting at 6. And the image remains at 6. Okay, next image. The score is 4. So, Lisa, you've moved, so wonderful. Thank you.
It's a really lovely composition, but just watch the exposure. The peak of the building is way too hot. It can all get brought down and the contrast up and it looks much better.
Thank you. Very good. Next image is. And did we get Tony's? I think we did. This image scores a 9 Gold Award. Okay, who can speak against it? Nobody. But Erica, you'd like to offer something. Thank you.
I do. Just a teeny tiny comment. That vertical line on the very edge of the left-hand side of the image is a few millimeters not perfectly vertical. Like 1 or 2. I probably would have gone to a 10 if that was fixed.
Wow, millimetres out.
Yes, but it's noticeable.
Okay. Congratulations to the entrant. Well done. Right, we're going to the next image. Thank you. This image scores 7 Silver Award. And any comment there, guys? Please. Thanks, Tony.
In terms of commercial aerial, it's captured the message. It's certainly displayed that well. The blue and the red of the tractor pulled us in. I just the composition's a little bit static. The images, the tractor, etc., is almost in the middle, but not in the middle. And I think further from the centre would actually add a little bit more energy to this picture.
Thank you, Tony. Next image is. Thank you. This has a caption while you're viewing. Focusing on the thought that we are attracted to symmetry and repeating patterns, this forces the viewer to think that they are looking at symmetry when in fact there is none. She scores an 8, silver plus. Oh, poor entrance in the back room going, what? All good. Okay. Let's have a little chit-chat or a comment, please. Some feedback for the entrant. Could it go the next level, or has it reached its full potential? Short and sweet.
Yeah, great image. I scored a 7. Which is as much as the 7th here, isn't it? Upside down at the front. Really beautifully printed. I can't see
Cool. Okay. Now, does anybody want a break? Because this image scores 5. Where can it go from here? Anyone? Thank you, Tony. You guys pause. Tony's in, okay? Thank you.
Strong composition, maybe a little more sky than we need, but I find the overall image a little bit flat. So if it's got a bit colour, it needs a little bit more punch and colour in it. Otherwise, try black and white, because I reckon this will fly as black and white.
Cool. Thank you, man. Next image is... This image scores a 6. Bronze sword. And we have a review from Tony. Thank you, Tony. So, Tony, you're sitting on 8, I think.
I gave this an 8. First of all, I think geometrically it's really well balanced. I love the strength of the orange at the bottom at first. I mean, some might find that overpowering, but I think this gives the image base. And if you think of that as if it was all white, given that it's a building and a structure, it would kind of be a bit floating, and so it needed some weight at the bottom of the image. That gives us a foundation for what is exquisitely chosen time and perspective because of the shadow detail. Every facet and face of that structure above is a slightly different tone of grey. And for me, that means that the photographer themselves. So when I look at architecture, I think, what did the photographer bring? Because there's a lot of design there that's not the photographer. That choice of perspective and that choice of day on what looks like a fairly flat lighting day, we've got all these different shapes and shadows. For that reason, commercially, I think it really shows off the facets of what is a non-standard, what they call those shapes? Rhombodon or something. But you know what I mean, like this linear shape, this linear three-dimensional shape, and we're seeing every facet with a slightly different shade. And I think that's really well done. That's why I've given this an 8. A 6 is not. I think we need to award it something.
Sure. 17. Thank you.
I dislike it for all the reasons Tony likes it. I don't like the flat lighting. I don't think it shows off the shapes well enough. I don't think there's enough contrast difference between all the shapes. I would like to have seen that shot at a different time of day. And I don't think the photographer pulled out the best composition out of that building.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I love both his comments. I sit on a 5. I keep just the edge on the right hand side. I keep just wanting a little bit more space or not in space, and I feel like this is about balance to me. A little bit more space on the edge would have given it a little bit more room, and then it might have separated it with me, but I am listening.
Okay, anyone else wish to add? Thank you, Tony.
I think the tightness on the right for me gives it tension, and I respectfully disagree, David. I think if it was too bright, we would lose the subtle textural details within the brickwork or what looks like glazed brickwork on those faces. So if we go to too bright a day, we then end up with dark shadows and overlit areas. And I think we've got everything controlled, everything's where it should be. And the fact that we've got a neutral sky allow the subtlety of that to come through. So I've given it an 8. I think it's worth more than no award, so to speak. So I'm asking for a little bit more.
Thank you. Rescoring, everyone. And the image has a silver award. It's 7. Thank you, team. And our next image is... sorry, Tony, have you shown your score yet, mate? Have you got a score for us? Yeah. Sorry, we might have missed it.
I gave it a 7.
That's not what you held up. That's all good. Yes, yeah, all good. Okay, so this image scores a 6. Bronze award. And we're after a comment, please. Somebody, thank you. Oop. Thank you.
I was just going to say, to bring this one up, because it's 2 images, at the top they're merging, at the bottom they're defined, so either merge them or don't merge them. And I don't feel that the deadish dying player on the right adds anything to it. I'm not seeing a lot of correlation here. It's got a bit of dodgy shadows and Photoshop going on. The image on the left is quite nice.
Great. Thank you kindly. And the next image is... Oh, thank you. This has a caption. Commissioned by Coburn Cement, brief was to capture all aspects of their production with the emphasis on time to produce their product. And we have an image. This image scores an 8, Silver Plus award. And Tony is reviewing. Thank you. Just so you know, Tony, you're not alone.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm surrounded by friends.
Yeah.
Look, exceptional detail, exquisitely edited. Putting aside the graphics alone, just the graphics without thinking of the time aspect, very well balanced, beautifully balanced. The detail in the tractors, etc., is exquisite. Having shot commercially and shot on quarries a lot, I can tell you that getting everything where you want it at the right time is not as easy as it sounds, even if you've got total control of the plant, which you don't often get. And maybe this photographer did, but often they're on production time and it costs money. So having put that aside, the way that they've obviously replicated or given the symbol of a clock, fitting the brief, I think this excels in all aspects. I mean, the client would be over the moon, so that's one way I judge it. Photographically, it's exquisite, it's been handled beautifully. And then from a fine art or point of view, so for me, it ticks boxes across so many different perspectives. And so commercially, it'll be a very unique and powerful image that could be used in all sorts of manner, including a piece of art in the boardroom. So for commercial work, this is at the highest level, and that's why I've given it a gold. Why didn't you give it a 10, Tony? I'm glad you asked. There's a fractional negative vignette. It just falls away a little bit around the edges, which if it didn't have that slight lightening on the edges, it would have been a 10. But it's so minimal, I feel guilty for not going. But I'm happy with 9, that's what it should be.
Okay. Rachel? Yeah?
Yeah, thanks Tony. I love that we get the challenges. I was a boost at 8. I was hovering, and even just speaking to time, you know how in psychology of selling clocks, they always say after 10 to 2.
Yeah.
We even got that here too, so for that reason alone, I've got 9.
Cool.
I was just going to say, I scored it lower because I thought the caption to line, I couldn't work out how this related to time. So thank you for pointing out the obvious that I missed.
Excellent. Anyone else? Yep. Okay. And sorry, Tony. Jazz. Tony. Jazz. Before you finish.
No, I just wanted to say I was right there with you. I was nearly on a 10, but for the same reasons I stuck to 9, and I think, for exactly the same reasons. It's a work of art and an incredible piece for the people that they shot for.
Okay, Tony. So
worth more than an 8.
where to from here?
I've shot a lot of quarry stuff, and I've not shot anything as good as this. That's why I have to give it a gold.
Champion. Okay, we're all scoring except for Tony. Okay, it's a full house of 9s, and it means it gets a 9 gold award. Well done, team. Good judging. Okay. And we have a score here of 5. Competent award. Comment, please. Thank you, Jazz.
Yeah, beautiful time of day. I was struggling to see what part of the image was in focus. And I definitely think that would elevate the image for me, and also the really like blurriness in the bubbles in the foreground was a bit distracting. I'd probably crop that a bit. So.
Excellent. Thank you, Jazz. Next image is.
Caption.
There may well be. Sorry, here we go. Commissioned work, shot of a scene from the Swan Lake. This was a live performance, not a photography call. His Majesty's Theatre, November 2022. This image scores a 6, a bronze award. And I would like some constructive feedback, please. Thank you, Tony.
We've said it before, given that the set, the light, everything's there for you, it's up to the photographer to choose the right moment. In terms of the dancer's body position, I think that looks like the right moment. So you can't really change that one way or the other. But the lighting on the foot is it's just too bright and it's distracting. And the arms and the foot out the front are a little bit too distracting because they're too bright. The bottom left is a bit bright. So what do? You need to shoot this and expose it lower down. Modern cameras and most cameras have a much bigger dynamic range than we used to deal with. So you can underexpose this a little bit, hold on to that highlight detail, and then in post, bring out the detail around it because that would make a much stronger image because everything else is there.
Excellent. Thank you, Tony. Okay. Where are we up to? Okay, next image is... Have a caption for this. Commissioned by Coburn Cement, brief was to capture all aspects of the production with the emphasis on time to produce the product. That sounds familiar. This image scores 7, silver award. And comments there. Thank you, Rachel.
It's actually super cool, and if it was the same brief, it still works with the caption with the time. You know, the kid was here 89, referencing time and maybe the product's longevity. It's very humorous, if so, but this is a study in great balance. So I can imagine how cool all those images will look together.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you, Rachel. Next image. This image scores 5. A competent image. And who's our architectural expert on the panel? All of you. Great. Thank you, Tony.
I think the score reflects the fact that this is a competent, well taken, professional standard type of image. A little bit tight on the right, perhaps with the bell tower, that green and the shape of that spire as dragging us across. And if you're going to keep the lamp on the left, I think you need more space on the right. Yes, you've positioned the Ritz-Carlton Towers right in the middle, but I think that what's happening on the right. So it's compositional elements, maybe a little bit more darkening from the bottom, a gradient just darkening from the bottom to lead us into the image, and a little bit more punch in colour. And I don't mean punch it right up like fine art or Tony Hewitt stuff, but just, you know, a little bit more crispness and punch out of the colour. It just bring attention more to the hotel itself.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tony. Next image. And just need David. Lovely. This image scores a 6. Bronze award. Okay. Jazz, would you like to... Is there any... is there a bit of country in you?
No, I think it's enough.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, David.
Great composition, well timed, getting the stragglers at the right time, pop and dry off at the right time. Really solid image.
Great. Thank you. Next image is... Okay, this image scores 7, silver award. And who would like to provide some feedback, please? Lisa, thank you.
I very much enjoyed this image. Before I went up, I had a much like an island feel. I think graphically you made something really beautiful from what is the old fading grass. Probably a jagged little platform. So it just made it look gorgeous. Well done.
Good job. Next image. This image scores a 7, silver award. And a comment, please. Every image gets a comment. Thank you, Rachel.
Beautiful time of day, beautiful shot, really well balanced. I think everything's working here. I think the only thing that is a bit pulling a bit higher is slightly on the left-hand side, but otherwise the angle.
I was going to say chop off that little bit of blue sky at the top. Just hold us in the picture.
Excellent. Well done, team effort there. Okay. Thank you, folks. Right, Tony, I think we missed yours. I think yep. I think we're all good. This image scores 6, which is a bronze award. And a comment, please. Thank you, Tony. Challenge, thank you. So we have a challenge, a review. Yep, we've given it a 7.
Look, this image does have a tad too much contrast. Putting that aside, everything else about it, the conceptual design, the choice of putting the plant on the left, the shape and gesture of the plant coming down and the highlight at the bottom of the plant, forcibly taking us, no matter what we want to do, it forces us to go across and look at the other image. The posing of the model, that's exquisite posing, that's beautifully posed, the hands are perfect. Yes, there's contrast and possibly a little too much, so no 10, no 9. And I almost thought of 8, but definitely a silver. I mean, that's exquisite. A little hint of red in the background of each image, but not so totally red, so we got these out of focus colours. I don't mind that the middle of the split starts to blend. It doesn't bother me so much because everything ties together. These two pieces tie together beautifully well, and obviously this part of the series, I think this works really, really well and deserves a silver.
Excellent. Okay. Who else would like to discuss?
Yeah, I go with 7 and thinking about the answer, and I think I'll mention 8. It's really, it's a fantastic pose. I actually quite like the contrast in it. It's punchy and modern. Really works well with the red. Punches it out nicely. It's hard to ignore. I mean, when I saw all the images come up, this one I remembered, and that says all.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, look, maybe I was a little bit harsh down on 6, but I think what held me back was just the image on the left. It felt, I don't know, just a little bit, I don't know, just the contrast of it wasn't quite working for me, or like something about it just wasn't quite cohesive. But yeah, I agree with the posing of the model on the right and how it leads over, and the lighting's perfect and all those sorts of things, so definitely listening.
Thank you. And Rach? Good? Okay, we're rescoring, please.
I can say something now?
Oh, sorry. Yes, all right.
I just wanted to add that I agree with David added the fact that he didn't mind the contrast, and I agree with him. It is punchy, and the contrast and the punchiness matches that, what is obviously meant to be a powerful red. And even the gesture, or the chin up, and the pose, and the way the head is turned, all of that complements the power and the strength and the sort of impact that we're supposed to get out of this picture. So,
Okay, we're rescoring. Thank you, team. So we've got scores are coming in. Image was sitting on 6. Let's see if it moves. Just need one more. I think Jazz. I think we needed yours. Now sitting on 8. Silver Plus Award. Well done. Excellent work, you lot. Image scores a 6. Bronze Award. And comment. Tick, tick, tick. I know we're tired. You're doing so well. Thank you, Lisa.
I love how you've taken the building and made me feel a little bit like we're in the Antarctic. It's nice. Well said.
Good. Good job. Okay. Next image. How are we going? All good? We have a score of 5. The usual. Thank you, Jazz.
Yeah, I think in this case you just want to, with the captions, like the non-commissioned just doesn't work against it, if anything, but just with the lighting, it's more lit from the back than the front. I get that you want to have the contrast of the texture, but maybe just a little bit from in the middle of the image as well. Just to be
Yep. Lovely, thank you, Ted. Okay, next image. So this image scores 4. Who's got a comment for us? What would float your boat? Thank you, Tony.
Colour palette of this image is a bit too cold for what it's supposed to be saying. That cyan colour is just a bit too strong. I think composition's a bit too loose. There's too much foreground or too much sky. So maybe a higher crop from the bottom and give us more sky, or make it more about the track. It just feels a bit static, and there's sort of more opportunities. The back of the trailers blending in to the sand dunes behind it. So just controlling that. The sand dunes on the right are a bit white. So just there's opportunities here, but perhaps could be done with that.
Thank you, Tony. Next image. I think there might be a caption for this. What number have we got here? Number 26. Commissioned work, shot of a scene from Sleeping Beauty. This was a live performance, not a photography call. His Majesty's Theatre, November 2021. We have a score. This image scores 6. Bronze award. And speak now, please. Thank you, Jazz.
Yeah, I just feel like this image could have been elevated with a faster shutter speed, and just to really capture that focus nice and sharp.
Thank you. Next image. Oh, sorry. We good? We have a score. The score is 6. Bronze award. Well done to the entrant. And a comment, please. Anyone? Thank you, David. I think it's David. Is that David over there?
I'm just not sure what the second part of the image is. Classroom lighting and professional image.
Great.
That's why they've got the score.
Thank you. Okay, just trying to control the lighting a bit here. And next image is. This image scores a 4. Thank you.
Time of day, this image wouldn't be quite so flat. That would help.
Thank you, Rach. Great. And our next image is. There we go. This image scores 4. What can be done? Thank you, Tony.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jess is already. Okay.
Yeah, no, there needs to be a lot more sharpness with different aperture. You can get both in focus, or you can choose which one you want to be in focus, because at the moment I can't see anything.
All good?
I was just going to
Yep.
add, if you had the legs, I think the timing's slightly behind. If you'd had the legs of the person who dived in, because those bubbles look like they're reasonably sharp, and you had the feet of the legs, then you'd have a story. I don't mind the background out of focus and the edge of the water, as long as something for us to anchor.
Sounds good. Thank you. Next image. We have a score. This is a 6. Bronze award. All good with the score, thank you. And a comment, please. We're not going home until I get a comment.
The foreground's quite bold and bright, and I don't mind that it leads us into the background. I like the choice of perspective to sort of flip our minds as to what we're looking at. It might be a bit of the outside of the Louvre, but that little, whatever that little bit just next to the small pyramid is, it's a little bit distracting. The bright point in the sky on the right, and the overall feeling of flatness would be, they would be lifted if there's a bit more contrast in the image.
Excellent, thank you guys. Next image is. You're doing very well, guys. Commending you. Well, good. So, this image scores 7. Silver award. anything that can be done to lift this to the next level. Thank you, David.
Yeah, well seen, great, well constructed, great image. Maybe, I don't know, maybe one of the paintbrushes, colour or just something extra, just sort of, just an extra element there to represent, but really well done.
Excellent. Thank you. Next image. We have a score. It is 5. Competent image. Give us a agricultural comment.
As we balance image, I think the tone range would enhance it, so bringing some of those shadows out and making it a little bit less flat in the beigey areas would have enhanced this a little bit and pulling up the contrast a little bit.
Thank you, Rachel. A wise commentary. Next image. Yep, great. This image scores 7. Silver award. Does it have room for improvement, anyone? Thank you, Lisa.
What I would do to improve it is actually to flip the flower the other way so that it mirrors the angle of her neck. And just watch, and even by flipping it the other way, we would see more of the beautiful side of the front end of the stem. And just relying on the bottom half for me of the orchid, that down the shot. So consider that and it will be talk about more.
Sure. Thank you, Lisa. Next image. Does this have- Thank you. Okay, this image scores 7. Silver award. And we have a review. Oh, who got in first? I thought David got in first. Yeah. I think he... Very quick.
Okay, what a fantastic image. And I love the minimalistness of top, if that's such a word. With, you know, but with some lovely texture there and really well handled exposure. And that really complex, dynamic, kind of, I don't know, what we call it, 60s, 50s colours and lamps and it's super cool. And interesting, you could just look at it for quite a while. I really enjoyed seeing this printed.
Excellent. Okay.
I think it should get a gold.
Thank you. Good point. Tony,
That's why.
Tony, we might come back to you after. If anybody else wants to have a comment, please, and then. Yeah. Thank you, Rachel.
Thanks, David. I gave this a 7. I really wanted to come up with you, but just some of the handling kept me down on a 7. The lighting on the bottom portion of the image isn't balanced. I think it was either lit better on the right hand side or brought down on the left. The lights on either side, in the middle piece there, then you've got the very bright white on the right and then sort of dark on the left. I feel like this is such a study of chaotic balance that it had to nail every single piece for it to really sink. In this image, I think you could have handled all of those elements really well to allow this image to have the impact that I think it could have if it was handled a little bit better.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was right there with you, Rachel, at 7. I felt like the top was a little bit like the bottom part of the colour and all the lights are like so interesting, but the top just seems to take away from that. Yeah, I felt like I don't know if you could crop in and that would make it weird, but I just felt like it was just too much up there for me.
Okay, Tony.
Yeah, I thought the same about the lighting, that it's bright on the left and not so bright on the right. But I think if this is a commercial shot to replicate the interior of a restaurant or cafe or something, that it kind of gives us a sense of context, like that there's windows on the left. And because if you allow the light to go from bright to dark, you need that bright point on the right hand side in the darker area to balance that out. But the real genius of this, and the reason I'm going to go to gold, is that with all of that busyness of the colours in the back wall and the lights, the sort of different colours and shapes of the lights, there's a hell of a lot of busyness there. How do you deal with it? Well, the way I see this is actually commercially it's more about the roof. And I've got a feeling you could use commercially about the textural quality of that concrete roof, selling that. Now, what they've done very cleverly is they've made the chaos and confusion of the bottom half of the image simple. They've simplified it by compressing it, and then they've kind of taken the simplicity of the roof and turned that into something more interesting, so we have a beautiful counterbalance. So in terms of commercial shot, I mean, aesthetically and colour palette wise, that's beautifully done. So aside from that lighting, which I kind of have an excuse for myself, I'm happy to go to golf because I think everything else and the genius of balancing that out is perfect.
Okay, so David, you got some friends there.
I think the top part of the image calms the image down and anchors it a bit more. And I mean, what would be a really confusing, complicated image just at the bottom there? I mean, I think it's enhanced by the setting, and Tony's probably right. It possibly is. Maybe it's an architectural shot and showing off sort of to concrete as much as anything. The light probably from there to right is probably where the windows are. Some directional light, because we've got shadows falling from left to right. That just shows that. So yeah, you could probably darken that down a little bit on the left. But are we taking back any points away for that?
Okay, thank you, team. Good discussion. We are rescoring, apart from David. So currently the image is sitting on 7, which is an award. It now has gone to an 8, Silver Plus award. Well done. Okay, hang in there, guys. We are not too far away. Oh, it's a straight canister. It's 7, a silver award. And comment, please. Thank you, Tony.
Simple composition. I love the softness that the foliage brings to it, but it's really the simplicity that gives this image its strength. Perhaps a little more into the middle would strengthen it, or a little more contrast to bring out some of the texture in the tarmac or whatever it is.
Thank you. Okay, I've just lost my cursor. It's floating around over there. Can I bring it over here? All good. This image scores an 8, Silver Plus award. Thank you, Tony. Yep.
Yeah,
Are you reviewing?
Yeah.
Challenge? Thank
I gave
you.
it a 9.
Yep.
When I look at this image, I think that we're being fooled with the perspective, which is very clever from the photographer. Technically, it's handled really well. The colour palette is just incredible. It's got this vibrancy about it, but that black line on the right really adds to it. It just pulls us around. This image, we're pulled around the image. We have no choice where we're going to go. Everything's taking us wherever we want, using different shapes and colours to do so, by bringing us back to the beginning. The geometry in this image is incredible. The sense of perspective and depth is incredible. The quality, the sharpness, the treatment and editing of this image brings it all together, and the bouncing between those primary colours, it's just got vibrancy, energy, and all wrapped up in an image that is not exactly the way you would see it in normal life. The photographer has brought it to us in a different way. I think that's very clever. I gave it a gold.
Well, I'm Tony. I gave it an 8 and was a bit weak. I'm going up. This is one of the best images I've seen today. It's super dynamic. I love that arrow and zoom of the red across there, and it's all heading towards the little pyramid on there, and I know this image is shot in a different, the perspective of the angle of it is making us think it's horizontal. It's not, but it's awesome. It's an awesome image. Great colour and beautifully handled.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
We all good?
I'm going to come up and support. I just keep thinking of swimming.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, I think I may have been a little harsh. I'm definitely coming up.
Cool. Okay, Tony,
When it
not
comes
too
to
much convincing.
architecture, the idea is to take what is there and make it look a little more dynamic, bring attention to the shape, the design, the choices of colour, and all the forms that go into it, and I think this is at the highest level, deserving of a gold. Let's give it what it deserves.
Thank you, team. Rescoring. Yep. Good. Good. This image scores a 9, Gold Award. Well done, team. Thank you. And this image scores a 5, Competent Image. Can it be lifted to another level at all? Anyone? Rachel, do you want to? Oh, Lisa, thank you.
I think it's just a really beautiful image of the bouquet, and I think it's probably reached its full potential. It's well shot. It highlights the bouquet beautifully.
Thank you. Okay.
Just give it some backlight.
The phantom comment. Good. This image scores a 6. Bronze award. Somebody.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I'll
Tony.
review it. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're
I gave it
reviewing?
an 8.
It's a review?
Yeah.
Yep,
I gave it
cool.
an 8.
Yep.
Look, I think it's worth a 7 at least. The things that hold it back for me a little bit, the tree on the top right, yes, could be separated a little bit more and give a separation to the staircase. But the geometry, the perspective that's chosen is really dynamic. It accentuates the forms of this house or this structure with those beams in the roof, it's sort of coming over the top. They're all echoed in terms of the bottom, the foreground of the forecourt. I don't mind the blue on the left because it kind of balances out the business on the right, and the detail that takes us through the house. The starburst, yeah, okay, could have been maybe toned down a little bit, not so many bursts if you like, and the glow underneath the patio may be a little bit strong, but I think 6 is a little under for what it is, because it's quite crisp, it's quite bold in terms of an advertising shot. You know, magazine cover, yeah, take out the leaves and it's definitely a winner, but maybe at least a 7 for me.
Yep. Thank you. Sorry, Jess, I'll get you.
It's a very solid commercial image. As an architect, photographer, a house builder, you expect to have that image. But it's just all the things Tony said is what brings it down. I mean, that foliage and the exposure issue on the bottom there and a few other little things. It's just maybe just a bit too bright and gloomy in the house. Maybe the house could get some lamps or something and just tone down rather than just being all one amount of light in that room there. So yeah, it's just a good image, but it's not an award image.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Jazz, you had a comment? Thank you.
Yeah, I was just going to say exactly what you just said. I feel like it's a very professional shot. The people will be very happy with this who have requested it. I felt like it was a little bit too close on the fire and just the leaves and everything, and the starburst was really distracting. But as a professional shot, I think this is exactly what the client would expect, and I think that's where it sits.
Anyone else?
Yeah, comments are there. I think in terms of the crop though, if we're looking at, I'm looking at it as being shot for magazine cover and kind of restricted by the format that they would want. So I don't know you could go much wider because you wouldn't fit it on anyway. So anyway, that's the comments.
Okay, we're rescoring. Apart from Tony, staying on his score of 8. Okay, and the image remains at 6. Okay, next image. There is a caption for this. It is staff gather around for a pre-service meeting. Good. This image scores 6. Bronze award. And a comment, please. Thank you, David.
Yeah, the roof's handled quite well. I think you're going to get people at the bar have some energy there, so slower shutter speed and more movements and some lighting in those people would work well. It's very flat, the lighting at the moment. That could have been turn the lights down and just put some little fill spots and things in there just to make it a bit more interesting.
Great. Okay. Well done, panel. That was amazing, guys. Thank you. Greatly appreciate your commitment right through to the very end. That was a long haul, and we are very, very grateful for that. And we realise that that is a tiring length of time to be looking at a screen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think there's a lot of entrants who appreciate what you've done. You gave it the due consideration, every image. That was very impressive. And all your commentary, it's a strong sign of commitment. So we're very grateful.
And we are grateful to you guys behind the scenes because I know what goes on behind the scenes. We all do. So well done to you guys.
Okay.
And to our
And yes, and also, guys, just an acknowledgement, our students who have been with us all day have done an outstanding effort, so we're very pleased. What's the plan, Stan?
In the live stream, start packing up.
Up, yeah. So,
Thank you to our sponsors as well.
yes, sorry, thank you to all our amazing sponsors. I don't have the list in front of me, but we're certainly grateful. If there's people on live stream, thank you guys. We're very grateful that you are participating even from a distance. So thank you, and we hope you got a lot out of it. We certainly do when we sit in the room with our judges. So
One more thing, we'd just like to thank the lovely Mark Prezzetto for
It's not that lovely.
coming along all the way from Brisbane on a very long flight. It's wonderful to have an interstate judge here as well. So thank you so much for what you've done today, and we're really looking forward to tomorrow's presentation. If you haven't got tickets for that, they're still open. They did close at 2 o'clock today. I reopened them because we had some people asking. So it's still available. So come tomorrow afternoon. Me and 5 others.
Without being presumptuous, when did you find out that you were being judged? And when did they